Happening now on the city's northwest side, police and onlookers gathering at the scene of Danny K. Drive. We're told the body of missing 18-year-old Savannah Soto was found there along with another body. John Paul Barajas is there now. John Paul.
That's right. I want to start off by saying we do not have official information at this point, but Chief William McManus is just on the other side of this building waiting to give that information. Our AV is over there, and we'll have that covered. But for the time being, we've been out here since 4:30. As Daniela mentioned, the family of Savannah Soto told us they believed that SAPD had found the bodies of Savannah and her boyfriend, Mr. Guerra. But we have not heard from SAPD about that just yet. Now, since we've been here, there's been a ton of emotion. Right now, this street is empty, but earlier it was flooded with people who are now on the other side, also waiting for the chief to talk. But you saw family from both Savannah and the boyfriend side get into a small argument before one family member calmed everybody down and got everybody to relax. One of the things they were saying was, why are you always trying to fight? We can't do this right now. They're both gone. And so that leads you to believe that the information that the family gave us is true. Now, since we've also been here, we saw the mother, who's still back here, talk to investigators. She broke down in tears, held up by family members. We approached her afterwards. She said she was not ready to talk at this point. So we have not heard from her since she told us they believed that the family has been found. But that's what we have at this moment in time. Again, Chief William McManus just got on scene moments ago, and he's being briefed and will be given the information. We know on the other side of this building, the car where they believe the bodies were found is now covered in tarps. Now, just a reminder, 18-year-old Savannah had been missing since the 22nd. She was supposed to be induced and go into labor on Friday. She missed that appointment and never showed up. And this is a story that's being picked up nationally and all over social media. That's getting a lot of attention. And this is unfortunately looking like it's going to end in a tragic way. Just a day after Christmas, family here is devastated, waiting for more information. There's still a lot of investigation to do, and there's actually crime scene units on the other side. There's crime scene units on the other side trying to comb through what they have at the moment and also give that information to Chief McManus.
All right, JP, from where you are right now, where is the original location where Savannah was living that I know Leon Police released earlier?
Yeah, so it's probably about a 10-minute drive away from here, so not far at all from where family was searching, where Savannah lived. They were all searching this area last night, and you covered that story, and they were pleading with any information, and unfortunately, it looks like they got some information that might have pointed them or police to this location here, just off the 5900 block of Danny K.
All right, I know there's family there, but how big is that crowd that's out there?
See, on the other side of this, it's a massive scene because you have a mixture of the families from both sides, Savannah and the boyfriend, as well as neighbors and residents who live here at this apartment complex who are all just trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And I believe Chief McManus is now available to talk, so we're going to go ahead and take that live shot over there with Avery.
Everybody ready?
Just 1 second.
So what I'm about to tell you, excuse me, what I'm about to tell you is preliminary information and could change, quite possibly will change as detectives get further into the investigation. And what we're looking at right now, I think everybody knows the background on this, so I won't go into it. But what we're looking at right now is a very, very perplexing crime scene. And detectives right now are looking at this as a possible murder. And but we don't know for sure. So again, because of the complexity, the complex crime scene, we can't say for sure what we have. Questions?
How many people were found? Are there people
Two.
in the car?
There are 2 people in the car.
Are they dead?
They are deceased. And we believe that it is the missing woman and her boyfriend, but we can't confirm that right now officially until the medical examiner takes a look at the bodies and makes that determination as to their identity.
So that missing woman was pregnant. Do we have any update on the baby?
No, I mean, I can't say for sure. I'm not going to say anything officially about whether the person in the vehicle was pregnant or is pregnant. I can't say that officially, so I'm not going to. We have to wait for the medical examiner to say anything officially. But we do believe that the two individuals are the female who was missing and her boyfriend.
Any weapon inside the car?
We don't know that yet. We have not been able to move the bodies.
Is it a Kia Optima?
Yes, it's the car that was described as the boyfriend's.
Did the family call in about the car?
Yes, the family did. They were alerted that the car was here, and they phoned it in.
And that was around 4 o'clock?
I don't know exactly what time it came in.
You know how long they may have been here for?
We're thinking possibly for 3 or 4 days.
So who exactly found the car?
I don't know exactly who found it, but the parents were alerted by someone or the family was alerted by someone who came across the vehicle.
Chief, we know that the Clear Alert obviously went out in Leon Valley, but there have been questions on why SAPD did not issue their own alert. Were you ever alerted to any idea that this could be within your jurisdiction?
I believe we became aware of it, but this being originating in Leon Valley, that's why I came out from there, the alert, Clear Alert.
Was there ever any indication that SAPD should have put out a Clear Alert of their own?
No.
So are y'all leading this investigation to the death? Is Leon Valley still involved in the investigation?
No, we are. Well, if there's any information that Leon Valley has, our detectives will work with Leon Valley on that. But the case is an SAPD case right now.
What can you say to the Soto and the Guerra family who are here today?
What can I say to them? Exactly what I just told you.
Yes, sir.
What makes this complex that you said?
Pardon?
What makes this a complex?
I don't want to go into details about that, but again, I will repeat that it appears to be a very complex crime scene, very perplexing crime scene.
Chief, was FBI ever involved?
One more question, guys.
Was the FBI ever involved in this investigation, or is anybody else going to be involved with the complexity of it?
No, not unless we reach out to them, but no.
Chief, did any of them live here, or why were they here?
McManus giving us an update on a car found in an apartment complex. The chief mentioned that he believes this is tied to that missing persons case. 18-year-old Savannah Soto, who was reported missing over the weekend on Friday, specifically after her family said she didn't show up to the hospital. She was pregnant and was expecting to be induced on Saturday. Well, the chief says that he believes that both Savannah Soto and her boyfriend were found in that car. He says they are dead. Now, he describes the scene as perplexing. He didn't want to really get into specifics, but if you heard that press conference, you heard sobbing in the background. I know John Paul, he told us that there were a lot of family members there. We're very emotional about this. I know I was out there yesterday talking to family, and they were all very emotional, just wanting to find it. And unfortunately, like Chief McManus just said, they did find them, but they are waiting for the ME's office to confirm their identities officially. Well, tonight, San Antonio Fire is investigating a fire at the Northwest Side Hotel. At a Northwest Side hotel is Arson. Now, this fire happened around 4 this morning on Briar Ridge Drive. That's near I-10 and Callahan Road. According to fire investigators, 2 people came out of the vacant hotel as firefighters responded. They weren't hurt. Right now, the cause of that fire is not known. Well, tonight, a driver is facing charges after hitting a man walking following a crash. This happened last night around 8 on Roosevelt Avenue and Loop 410. SAPD says a person driving a Lexus crashed into an SUV after not yielding onto the Loop 410 access road. The Lexus then hit a 67-year-old man who was walking on the sidewalk. The man was taken to a nearby hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the Lexus was charged with intoxication assault. In what's supposed to be the season of giving, some have been caught on camera stealing. The Bexar County Sheriff's Department expects thefts and break-ins to only rise through the new year. As our Avery Everett shows us, one San Antonio family is now without decorations as BCSO hopes a preventative program can help bring change.
I'm just trying to make my house festive for the holidays, for my child, and for the children in the community.
A San Antonio neighborhood this season isn't complete without a couple of lights and some celebration. But to Brenna Vega,
This is all that I have left.
the season of giving came with stolen goods.
I haven't had any problems when it came to that.
Until
it was only my Christmas decorations.
Caught on camera, a man walks up to her door, grabs her wreath, and then runs away.
You know, it's so unfortunate that we can't even have something as simple as a wreath on our door without somebody coming and stealing it.
The police report states that the decorations stolen totaled up to a couple $100.
It makes me so angry.
But officials say this is far from the only instance.
In neighborhoods like this one for Vega and all across Bexar County, these break-ins and thefts are becoming more and more frequent. That's why the Bexar County Sheriff's Office says they want to take a more proactive stance instead of just being reactive.
That's our job, is to make sure that we suppress crime every opportunity that we get.
BCSO is pushing its Patrol By program. You can call the non-emergency number and request a deputy to check on your home while you're away.
We're going to be patrolling your neighborhoods anyway. We may as well take an extra look at your house if you know that you're going to be out of town.
Sheriff Salazar says operators will ask you to describe your home, taking notes for any expected deliveries and what cars should be in your driveway. Salazar says there's no way to measure the number of break-ins and burglaries prevented, but he's hoping this program makes a difference.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
A day after Christmas, Vega's door is empty, but these marks still show what happened.
It's violating, and it wasn't even that late at night.
Now she's taking down the rest of her decorations.
I want to take everything off of my front porch.
Hoping this man is caught before the holidays are over and before anyone else becomes a target. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
All right, heading outside with live cams. Still have a few high clouds in place. Temperature sitting at 55 degrees here in San Antonio. You'll definitely want the jacket if you're stepping out for any evening plans as those thermometers continue to fall. It was a cold start this morning, but a beautiful afternoon. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, generally a quiet weather pattern is going to continue. Unfortunately, that means no notable rain chances to talk about as we get ready to wrap up 2023. Mornings are still going to be cold each day, mid to upper 30s around San Antonio. Afternoons pleasant, highs in the 60s with low humidity. We'll get you all those details coming up a little bit later on. All right, we're taking a look now at the traffic camera right now. We're looking at I-35 in Maine. Looks like things are moving smoothly on one side, but you can see a little backup right there. I know people are out and about shopping, spending their Christmas money. Well, still ahead on the news at 6, overcoming the odds. How an Edgewood High School grad pushed her way out of poverty to save lives next.
This SA Salutes holiday greeting is brought to you by Rodriguez Trial Law.
Hi, I'm Fidel Rodriguez Jr. with Rodriguez Trial Law. We would like to thank all active and ex-military members for your service and sacrifice. Blessed holidays to all.
One of the biggest hazards for firefighters is not just fighting fires, but also fighting cancer. That is why the city of San Antonio is taking an initiative to protect them. We're going to take you inside the Quartermaster program on the Night Beat.
Tonight, an inspiring story about a woman who went from a turbulent childhood in a poor neighborhood to saving lives. Jessie Degollado says the physician, affectionately known as Dr. B, had the odds stacked against her, much like her small patients.
Hi, Mamita. Hi, Miss Emily. Hi.
Tiny, tiny babies, some weighing less than an ounce, are Dr. B's specialty. Isabel Basaldu Prado, best known as Dr. B, wouldn't be giving preemies a fighting chance now if she'd listened to people like her grandmother.
Girls like you need to get married and have children, and you need to find a husband who's going to support you.
Mirasol Homes is nothing like it was when Basaldu Prado grew up here, and she is no longer the child that had to endure so much hardship.
My mother suffered with schizophrenia, and my father, unfortunately, was an alcoholic.
Basaldu Prado's father was later murdered, yet she never forgot what he once told her.
You are not going to be like me. You're going to go to college and you're going to get an education.
The Edgewood High School graduate who went on to medical school here and in Galveston found her way out of the poverty and crime she'd seen too much of growing up.
And I realized very early on that that's not the life that I wanted for myself or my children.
So much so, the mother of 5 almost didn't have kids.
I didn't want to put them through possibly what I had to go through.
Sadly, Basaldu Prado says mental illness led to her son's suicide. It's why she now counsels other families. But she says each new life entrusted to her care is her inspiration.
I see the struggle they went through, and it reminds me of the struggle I went through, and it brings me so much joy.
Along with helping new mothers like Emily's.
She should sleep on her back and not on her side or on her tummy.
Having learned what Dr. B went through will be a lesson that Crystal Zapata will someday share with Emily.
Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it just because it was hard growing up. Definitely reach for the stars.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
So lucky to have people like that in our community. Well, Mia, I know it's chilly outside. Feels like you need a thick coat.
Yep, you're definitely going to want at least the jacket this evening, but tomorrow morning, definitely the coat, especially if you walked outside earlier this morning and that's the first thing you grabbed before stepping outdoors, because the cold mornings are here to stay throughout the remainder of the week. Take a look at low temperatures in and around the San Antonio area. First thing earlier today, you can see up into the hill country and just north of Bexar County for places like Bulverde, Bernie, Comfort, Kerrville, and Bandera. As expected, briefly dipped down just below that freezing threshold. For us here in Bexar County, though, we were above that, mid to upper 30s. 37 was our official morning low temperature, which is slightly below average for this time of year. Our average low is 41 degrees. I think maybe just a few degrees warmer by sunrise tomorrow, but still very cold. You once again will want the coat stepping out for the Wednesday morning drive or just any other Wednesday morning plans. And you can see that, yes, that theme will continue each and every morning all the way into the upcoming weekend. Mid to upper 30s expected in and around the Alamo City. And one of the reasons why we're able to fall so much in terms of those temperatures through the overnight is because of the dry air. Dew points right now, how we measure that low level moisture, in the 30s and 40s. So that's what made it so comfortable out there this afternoon and helped high temperatures rebound into the upper 50s and low 60s. You'll notice here on your humidity forecast, your dew point trend over the next several days, that low humidity will continue. A little bit of moisture briefly returns on Sunday, but then we see our next cool front move in as we get ready to kick off 2024, and that will send another batch of some of that drier air back into south central Texas. So here's a look at first thing tomorrow morning. Again, upper 30s, low 40s expected for most. But while we're expected to stay well above freezing here in town, I think in a few localized spots up into the hill country, we once again could see those thermometers fall briefly to that freezing threshold just before the sun comes up. So if you do live in places like Comfort, Kerrville, even stretching over to Bandera and Bernie, probably a good idea to once again make sure those pets have a warm place to sleep. Bring in those potted plants just to be on the safe side. But once the sun comes up tomorrow, we're going to see plenty of it throughout the day. 54 degrees at 10 a.m. Temperatures already climbing to 60 degrees at noon. Very pleasant into the afternoon. A forecast high temperature around 64. Winds out of the north-northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. I think some upper 60s possible, especially along and just south of the Highway 90 corridor. Low 60s the farther north that you go. 64 in Canyon Lake tomorrow afternoon. 66 in Seguin. 67 off to our southwest in Divine. So the cold mornings continue, but into the afternoons very pleasant thanks to that dry air and low humidity. Low 60s by Thursday. Into Friday, we may miss the 60-degree mark. Still going to be comfortable out there, although on the cool side. Then into Saturday, low to mid 60s expected, so just a little bit warmer. Also briefly, if you are fixing to travel across the Lone Star State tomorrow, no issues for most of us. Sunny skies in DFW, 52 degrees. Laredo sunny as well, a little bit warmer in the 70s. Corpus Christi partly cloudy. Once again, high temperatures in the low 70s there as well. For us, we're in the mid 60s, plenty of sunshine. That will continue each and every day all the way into the weekend, and another batch of that cooler and drier air works in as we get ready to kick off the new year next week.
All right, thank you, Mia. All right, Spurs and Jazz tonight. Any update on Wemby?
We do have an update on Wemby, whether he's going to play or not, and we're going to let you know when we come back after the break. But also, what are the Spurs' goals as they head into their final 4 games of 2023? And in college football, Arizona and Oklahoma having a good time tonight at the Rico's River Rally coming up.
No, that's a strictly Jeremy thing. Jeremy only. Jeremy exclusive.
He went from 45% to 75%.
And that's why it's for Jeremy. That's why it's for Jeremy.
Julian is talking about Jeremy's one-handed free throw shooting technique that he's pretty good at on Spurs game day. Looking to snap a 4-game losing streak, Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs will host the Utah Jazz tonight, the first of 3 regular season meetings between the 2 Western Conference clubs. And at last check, Wemby was upgraded to available as he deals with a right ankle sprain that he suffered Saturday night in Dallas during pregame when he stepped on the foot of a ball boy. Now, he sat out against the Mavs, and Pop said he wasn't happy about it, so you know Wemby wants to go tonight. And this is Wemby this morning at shoot-around going through some flexibility drills. Julian Champagne was asked about that incident and the fact that the baseline is crowded with staffers and others during warm-ups.
Obviously, it's unfortunate. You know, we need the big guy, and we don't want him hurt, especially not off a rolled ankle on a warm-up. So it's definitely unfortunate. I think the sound's got to be cleaned up, but it's kind of hard because we need rebounders when we're warming up and stuff. So stuff like that happens, unfortunately. I want to say no one's to blame, but it's just unfortunate.
And the Utah Jazz come to town as winners of 2 straight, beating Detroit first and then Toronto 126-119 Saturday night. Wagner great Jordan Clarkson scored 16 of his 30 points against the Raptors in the fourth quarter. He's second on the Jazz this season, averaging 17.3 points per game. The Spurs have 4 games left in 2023 and would love to end the year on a high note with some dubs. And it starts tonight with Utah. KSAT 12 Sports' Mary Rominger has more.
Hey Larry, well the end of 2023 is near, and at this morning's shoot around we checked in with Spurs forward Julian Champagne, who just moved into the starting lineup, to see where he feels the team is at this point in the season and what the focus is moving forward.
I think the goal will stay the same. It's just like, we want to lock in defensively, we want to become a more aggressive team, a more physical team. Obviously we're still young and that only takes time to change, but I feel like the things that we can't control are our physicality, our defensive mindset, our execution. So I think those things kind of stay in their place and us wanting to get better at those every game.
And tonight against Utah, Champagne added that defense-first mindset will be important to handle all of the size that the Jazz come in with. From the Spurs practice facility, Mary Rominger, KSAT 12 Sports. Larry, back to you.
Thank you, Mary. Tip is tonight at 7 at the Frostbank Center. It was both business and pleasure today for the Arizona Wildcats and the Oklahoma Sooners as players and coaches from both teams met with the media this afternoon ahead of the 2023 Valero Alamo Bowl. Arizona spoke at 2:30, followed by OU at 3:30, and then it was time to have some fun. It's the Rico's River Rally at the Arson River Theater, a one-of-a-kind pep rally involving fans, cheerleaders, players, coaches, and the bands from both schools, Arizona and Oklahoma, and it is always a good time. And going down right now in the Serve Pro Bowl between Texas State and Rice, that game is all tied at 21 late in the second quarter. More on the Night Beat.
Ooh, thrilling. All right, thank you, Larry. We'll see you after the break.